Good morning, members. Happy Monday. We come to you live, pre-recorded from the Philadelphia Country Club Greens. We hope you're all doing well. This is now week 3 or 4, who knows what week it is of this quarantine, but we're staying active. It's one of the best things we can do to prepare our immune system for this virus should we come into contact with it. Ideally, you are socially distancing, you're wearing masks when you go out, you're wearing gloves and taking those measures of due diligence when you go outside. If for some reason you were to come into contact with this virus, you want to make sure you have good vitamin C stores, preferably from like oranges, fresh fruit, that you're exercising and moving daily, working the lymphatic system, right? So every time we move, every time we have a muscle contraction, it moves the lymph or the fluid around in our body. So it's a great way to prevent any sickness, whether it be coronavirus, COVID-19, the flu, a common cold, allergies. If you're taking allergies, you know, that's something that's kind of inevitable for a lot of us, but that's besides the point. Today is Mobility Monday. We're going to work on the shoulder joint specifically. So if you've been doing all of our workout videos or some of our workout videos or none of our workout videos, we're gonna actually take a second, slow it down a little bit and focus on our shoulders. So the shoulders are really important. It's the most mobile joint in the body. It is used for pretty much everything from daily living activities, from those to golf, to swimming, weightlifting, and you know, you can see a lot of times when somebody has a shoulder dysfunction or shoulder pain, it's very inhibitory, so it prevents us from doing a lot of things that we love to do. So we're going to do a couple tests today to figure out if there's any dysfunction in the shoulders, maybe some movements that we can use to help free those dysfunctions up, or maybe correct those a little bit. Now, when I say dysfunctions, it's just a fancy word for it works less than ideally. Maybe there's some pain, maybe there's just a lack of range of motion. And these tests today primarily test for range of motion. So range of motion in a joint is just when you can't move you can't move the joint through the full range of motion. So I can get my arm pretty far around using my shoulder, right? An impinged range or an impeded range of motion might look something like this. So as I lift my arm, it might be difficult to get to this top range of motion. I may not be able to, or worst case scenario, there's some pain there. So today we're going to need either a mirror or a partner to do the following exercises. So we're going to do 3 tests. The first test is an overhead test. I'm going to show you from the front what I want you to do and then pivot to the side so you have a side view. So the goal here is to get your hands straight up overhead without going into lower back extension or lumbar extension. Now what that means is just hyperextending through the spine. It'll become very obvious when I turn to the side. So you're gonna start nice relaxed posture. You're just gonna pick your arms up over your head and try to get them above your head. Now, tuck my shirt in so you can really see my spine here and the way that moves. If you have a tight-fitting workout shirt or workout gear like that, compression shirts, they all work well. If you're a guy, you can go shirtless. If you're a girl, you know, they probably make yoga shirts for that. So you're gonna pivot to the side. You're gonna go up and all the way up. Now, ideally, we want your back to be relatively straight, okay? What we want to avoid, and there's going to be a natural curve in the lumbar or lower back, but we want to avoid, as I come up, my hips tilting down and my back extending, my back hyperextending, right? So if my back kind of looks like a lima bean when I'm done, it's not a great position to be in. So a way to counteract that is to squeeze the glutes, squeeze the abs, and really lock that torso into place. Now, the second test is going to be an internal rotation and external rotation and retraction, scapular retraction. So what I'm going to have you do is you're going to pretend like you're in the top of a push-up. You're going to pull your hands all the way back like you're doing a push-up, and then slowly forward, okay? So all the way, trying to keep your chest open as possible and push. Now, the side view happens this may or may not happen to you. Try it out again with the mirror or partner. So we're gonna start here. Now, as you can see, as I pull this back, my chest kind of opens up and my elbows are behind my spine. From here, I'm gonna push forward, okay? Now, what may happen if you have lack of range of motion in the internal abduction and the extension range of motion is, as you bring this back, your shoulders may round forward, right? So now you can see my shoulder capsule's internally rotated, whereas before it had more of an open appearance to it. My shoulders back here instead of internally rotated like this. Now, if any of these two tests have applied to you, don't worry about it. We're going to get to the third test, and then the stretches and mobility practices at the end of the video should help with a lot of it. So you're doing great. Bear with me. We got one more test, and then I'll show you the stretches. If none of these apply to you and you just want to get a workout in, there's a workout at the end of this video too, so hang in there, okay? The last one we're going to do is we're going to put our hands out like a zombie, right, or Frankenstein. You're going to bring your hands in, bring your elbows behind you, okay? And then you're going to go down, okay? So you're going to slide your hands down and slide your hands up. Now from here, I should be able to get my elbows behind my back, and I should be able to get my elbows out to the side without excessive shrugging of the shoulders, okay? So again, from this view, I'm gonna start here. I'm gonna drop my hands down to the side, pull my elbows up, and try to get my hands behind my back here, right? So I do feel some tension in the front of my shoulders. I did just get a chest workout in, so all of the muscles that we're testing now are probably a little tight on me, and I, of course, didn't stretch because, you know, you have to make time to stretch, and I would rather make these videos for you guys. So I'll stretch later, as you all should be doing as well. So we're gonna go here, up. Now, if you look like you're at Muscle Beach in California before or after the coronavirus, and you're, you know, one of these, and your elbows are in front of you, and you have a hard time, or your shoulders, again, are internally rotated, that is a lack of range of motion. So let's go over how we can deal with that. So to start off, we're going to begin with our bookend or book opener mobility drill. We worked on this last week. We're just going to use this to warm up the shoulder before we do any isolated stretching. We're going to go ahead and get that bicep pillow engaged. One leg is going to be relatively straight, the other is going to be bent relatively at a 90-degree angle. If you have a foam roller here, that's great. Feel free to use that. I do not, so I'm just going to use the ground. Hand goes out in front, in line with the shoulder, okay? You're gonna open, let the hand stretch back, and then as soon as it starts to get restricted, you're gonna gently allow the head to follow the stretch. And back in, all together, here, up, and open. Now, every time you go through this, I want you to try and get a little bit either deeper into the stretch, try and touch the ground, or simply just a little bit looser. If you feel any areas where like, that's really tight, you can just let it hang out there, and gravity will help you. Gravity will actually create a lever out of your arm and stretch that chest muscle out a little bit. So from there, we're gonna go ahead and we're going to get into our shoulder sweep videos. So we're gonna go ahead and same idea. You're gonna twist and draw a circle around your body, okay? Same idea, 5 o'clock, all the way up and around to 7 o'clock, okay? Open and close. So we're gonna do, remember, because we're only stretching one shoulder and pec and back at a time, we're gonna do 5 to 10 on each side, okay? So take those same exercises, repeat on the other side, and we'll get to those stretches. All right, so you've warmed up your shoulders, you've tested yourself, you're gonna go ahead and work on a pec stretch. So what I'm gonna do here, I'm gonna take my elbow in line with my shoulder joint or slightly above, if possible. I'm gonna keep it in line with my shoulder here because this is a pretty low ladder or railing. You're gonna step, you're gonna keep yourself square, you're gonna step forward and slowly twist away from that shoulder, okay? So again, this is gonna stretch that pec out. You should feel it in your pec. Just go nice and gently. If you feel a stretch here, hold it. 10, 15 seconds, go a little bit deeper. Hold it, another 15 seconds, a little bit deeper, another 15, that's 45 seconds, okay? The next exercise we're gonna do is actually a lat stretch. So what you're gonna do is actually reach up overhead, grab onto a railing. And you're gonna shift your body weight away from the rail, okay? You can also use a wall for this. Shift up and away, okay? So out, hold it, about 15 seconds. All right. Try to go a little bit deeper, another 15 seconds, go a little bit deeper, another 15 seconds. So each of these stretches you're gonna be holding for 45 to 60 seconds on each side. After that, we're gonna go ahead and stretch out our traps. So you're going to, I'm gonna turn my back to you for just a second. You're gonna reach behind your back, okay? Just like you're standing at attention. You're gonna go ahead and grab your wrist, okay? So if my left hand grabs my right wrist, I'm gonna pull it behind my back. As I pull that to the left, I'm also twisting my head, tilting my head to the left, okay? So you can actually pull this hand down into the side, as well as trying to touch your ear to your shoulder on this side. Now, what that's gonna do is stretch that trap. If you have that internal rotation issue of, the Venice Beach, of the internal rotation, you will stretch that trap out and hopefully get yourself a little bit better range of motion. So the last stretch we're gonna do is actually a tricep stretch. So you're gonna reach up like you have a question, drop the hand behind your head, go ahead and grab your elbow and pull it behind your body. Okay, good. So try those mobility movements and stretches 3 times through, 10 reps on each side or a minute on each side, depending on what it is, whether it's the mobility drill or the stretch. And if you came here hoping for a workout, start with 10 squats, 15 jumping jacks, and then a 20-meter dash. As many rounds as you can get in 10 minutes. Repeat 3 times throughout the day so you have 30 minutes of moderate activity and maybe vigorous if you push yourself hard enough. All right, have a great day, members.